definitely think for me would be doing beginner swim training on a Thursday lunchtime that initiated with a teacher 2 years ago in year 10. It's been so amazing to see kids who I started teaching who couldn't swim and were scared to get in the water, and now they're swimming 50 meters and they've really struggled with it, and they just showed so much perseverance getting there. And it's great to see that they feed off what I put in. Just because I like swimming, I want to help them, but it's great to see that they like it too now and they want to improve as well.
I think for me it has to be the Shakespeare Club that I set up down at True Light College. And I think the reason that I enjoyed that one so much is because we could really see the impact we were having on the children. Like when we first got there, they wouldn't speak any English to us, they were quite often they would just talk to each other. And by the end of the experience, I think each of the groups really noticed the changes in the kids they were working with. And I think that was really endearing.
Well, during MUN, we were declared war upon by Russia as Pakistan. We initially didn't know how to react heavily. We knew whatever we did, it would impact the world as a whole, and so we carefully planned what to do. In the end, I believed our team did what was best. We declared war back on them. Instead of furthering peace, we still managed to settle things peacefully, sort of, in the end.
And MUN also enabled a lot of people, well, for us as Hong Kong students, to finally realize that countries have different stances, and we managed to open up even more this international idea that we're an international school. We managed to really see for the first time different countries' perspectives on things and really take that into consideration.
I think just as like a general overview through ethical implications, they kind of occur through all of the CAS activities that we've done, not just the strict service ones that I've partaken in, me specifically, and I guess the rest of us. So even things like leading on Year 8 camp, which was an action and service-based trip, we had to decide, if someone's really struggling with the gorge, what to do, what's going to happen, are they going to feel left out, and have to do on the spot decisions about ethical implications in more of a personal sense for the students, not such a global sense.
I would say that a strength from through CAS. The CAS activity that I did was Society for the Relief of Disabled Children, and a strength definitely is teamwork. Working with different students, working with different people from different societies. For example, down at Duchess of Kent. But then I realized through this that one of my weaknesses was leadership. That I wasn't as confident, but then through working with different people and more communication, I've really developed my social communication and leadership skills.
And I also felt that participating in a lot of with sports teams, like for example participating in volleyball as well as athletics, and volleyball is a very team-based game, and athletics is also very individual-based. And what I found was that in volleyball, when we were playing in the school matches and inter-school competitions, I felt that team spirit and collaboration, perseverance, and as well as being nice to your teammates was actually very important aspect to which brought us like a lot of victories as well.
During participation in Chinese debate, I realized that my strengths were my skills in my Chinese language and my improvisation skills. However, I also realized that in debate, teamwork is also extremely important between the four speakers, and that my coordination skills were lacking somewhat. So what the first speaker said, I might have problems following up or might have problems coordinating. Now this was basically a progression. At the start of the season, we were all really unfamiliar with each other's speaking styles and strength, but gradually as the season progressed, we became more familiar, and we actually won several matches and earned our way into the semi-final. And also during this experience, well, all of our teamwork skills did progress, but also our language skills progressed as well. So that's a great experience for me.
I think being open-minded is one of the best things, because you really get to experience it fully. If you go in skeptical, saying I'm just doing this for the points or for the hours, then you're not going to enjoy it. Year 8 camp was one of them. Everyone was saying that sleeping in tents for a week and looking after loud, noisy kids was the most annoying thing they could think of. But if you approach it with an open mind, you got to connect really well with the lower years, had great food, had a lot of fun, not great food, but had a lot of fun, and really experienced something totally new.
Through my CAS experience in both music and other activities such as AYP, I learned that being committed to your activity is actually really important, to show up for every meeting, because progress isn't usually a very instantaneous thing. It takes time, like it takes over half a year or a year to get better at, I don't know, your instrument or your sport activity.
Okay, well, one thing that has been said probably many times, but the importance of teamwork that I've learned in the past few years. Basically, any activity involves teamwork, service, creativity, or action. Even small activity, like more academic activities such as debate, MUN, or even setting up a school magazine requires coordination and teamwork between everybody. And gradually, as you do these activities, your teamwork skills build and your confidence also builds, which is a very valuable skill both in university and in later life.
Yeah, like Malin said, it's important to try to make a constant theme in your CAS activities. That doesn't mean you have to do the same sort of thing, but if you have a constant theme that helps with your personal statement, so it's obvious that you're passionate about a certain subject. So say I want to take English, so I would do loads of literary magazines, but that doesn't mean I can't do sport. I can say I do yoga, so I could write an excerpt in an article about how I learned about yoga and how I improved over the years. I've been doing it for 2 years, so I could do that.
My favourite moment has to be I did the assistant directing of a secondary musical last year, and this cast had over 200 people in it, and I think the best moment was at the end of the show when we came and there was the end of the performance and everyone was giving out cards, and there were kids who were in tears because they just had such an amazing time there. And together, so many people had been in this. We had teachers, we had students, we had people from outside of school, and we managed to combine everyone's individual skills and come up with a performance that was so amazing. And just that moment at the end of it, it was like the moment when everything was over. We knew we weren't going to come back to it, but there was just so many emotions in that room, and seeing how much each of the children had enjoyed it and how much we'd affected their lives just in that short period of time, it made me feel really humbled and made me just realise how much I enjoyed doing this kind of a thing and experience.
I would say don't do the CAS for the sake of doing CAS. Do an activity because you feel passionate about it, because you feel that through this CAS activity you can really learn something and make a difference.
And I also feel that one more thing is that you shouldn't be afraid to try something new, because there are always different options. You can always develop interest. If you're not sure what you want to do, you can always test it out, give it a try, and despite what your friends say, again, the most important part is doing what you actually like.
Surprise people. Do something people would never think you could do. For example, I did the volleyball dancing, and then my mom bet that I wouldn't be able to stay on it for 1 week because I'd get tired of all the kids and I would give up and I would be disorganized.